What is it like being a jacked white guy in China? Any funny stories?
I don't know. I feel kind of the same as I did before I started lifting.
Oh,
Um, Maybe I get more stares, but like I was getting stares before anyway. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of used to it. And I guess it's one of those things where building muscle takes time and the process happens so slowly that you don't necessarily notice any differences. And then, you wake up one day and you go to the gym and someone's like, "Hey, what's up, big man?" And you're like, "I'm the big man." Like, when did this happen? Like, and it kind of just happened gradually, and then you sort of notice it sometimes all at once. Um, but yeah, I would say I kind of stick out now, either the beard or the jackedness. Um, but I actually kind of prefer when people don't notice it and they just they talk to me just like a normal. It's like when I speak Chinese to people and someone's like, "Wow, like oh your Chinese is so amazing." I kind of prefer if people don't notice it and just like have a normal conversation.
mm.
So I don't know. I kind of prefer when people don't notice it, and they probably always notice it, but if they just sort of talk about other stuff, I guess.
I find Chinese, well, this time when I went back to China, um, I find Chinese culture pretty interesting and weird. So I have like an arm tattoo, right? And it's like pretty large.
Yeah,
And in China, it's kind of taboo to have tattoos, especially for the older generation.
yeah,
And when
yeah.
I first saw my grandma and my aunts, I can see them looking at my tattoo, like glancing at it, but they would make no mention of it at all.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like in China, people don't always want to like cause offense or like say exactly how they feel sometimes. Um, and then other things are super direct as well. So yeah, it's like kind of a mixed bag where it's different from Western culture, where some things that people would just say outright in the West, here, like they're just not talked about. Um, I've seen someone cut a whole line. So there's like 20 people waiting for something, and one person just, barges in front. No one says anything. Everyone is
Hmm.
just like, everyone sees it, and everyone is kind of like, murmuring amongst themselves, but no one actually does anything. Whereas I think, especially in the US, people be like, "Hey, what the hell is this? Get to the
Yeah.
back of the line."
Yeah.
Whereas here, I don't know, for whatever reason, people don't want to like speak up or cause trouble or something, and so they kind of just sort of accept it in some cases. But then other stuff, people are super direct about. So yeah, it can definitely take some getting used to the cultural differences in terms of like what is taboo, what is open, like what is talked about, what is not talked about. I remember my second or third year, someone just asked me my salary as an English teacher. They're just like, just straight up like, "啊你的工资是多少钱?" Like, what the? And I was just learning Chinese, so I'm like, did he just ask what he asked me? And my one of my Chinese friends is like, "Yep, he just asked exactly your salary every month." Like, just straight up, just curious about what an English teacher made. And so a lot of stuff, with dating as well, some stuff is like it's almost like a business application sometimes. Like, oh, how much money do you make every month? Like, how tall is your father? How tall is your grandfather? What color eyes does your father have? Like, I've been asked all those questions on first dates, and it's like kind of off-putting because I don't know, it's just super direct and it feels like a job interview or something.
What's your body fat percentage?
Yeah, just like all your like, let me get all your stats so I can, put it in a spreadsheet and make my decision later. And yeah, that kind of stuff is like kind of a shock because maybe to a certain extent it's normal here, but then, not growing up in this culture, it doesn't seem normal at all. So yeah, definitely some interesting differences.
What about gym etiquettes in China?
I think gym is kind of new as a concept. like the idea. So when I first started lifting, there weren't that many gyms here in Shenzhen. Like it seems like there's 3 times as many gyms as there were before. So I think just the idea of lifting is kind of new. I mean, I'm sure people have done it, for decades and decades, but it seems like still a little bit more niche than in the US. And yeah, I've had people like steal plates from me if I leave for 30 seconds. Like I'll put a plate on the bar to bench, you know, go and drink some water for a few seconds, and I'll see someone taking the plate that I just put on off the bar, and they put the plate on. And then when I'm like, yeah, maybe don't take that, they're like, oh, I didn't know you were using it. But you thought I put a plate on the bar, just didn't, I was going to take it off after or something. And so stuff like that, where I try not to get, angry or upset, but especially when you're lifting, you're already amped up. And so I try to, there have definitely been a few times where I had to leave, go pace around in the hallway for a few
Oh yeah.
seconds just to, yeah, just to, cool my head a little bit. Just because I'm a pretty patient person overall, but man, that kind of like blatant stupidity. And I actually check the bar before every lift now, every lift. So if I'm benching, particularly, but if I'm squatting,
Right.
if I'm deadlifting, anything, just a quick, just okay, are there the same number of plates here as there were? And are there, the same number of plates on each side, importantly? Um, and that's just like a habit now. That's just, it's happened a few times, but, there's nothing like unracking a bench press and, okay, wow, this is some Joel Seaman chaos training right here, where, one side is shifting a little bit. And I already have some muscle imbalances, but man, like when you unrack a bar and it's like, you know, 40 kilos on one side and 30 on the other, you can feel it immediately right away. Um, and I actually saw a powerlifting meet where a deadlift was misloaded. I think there was 2.5 kilos more on one side of the bar, but even that, it was like an 800-pound deadlift or something. So it's like a tiny percentage more on one side, but even the guy could feel that it was off, that it was different. I think he, hurt his hamstring or something just because the torque was, a little bit more on one side. So yeah, stuff like that. And, I always keep in mind that, what you do is pretty much always public, with social media. And I guess this is a bad reason for not getting pissed off at someone, but the world is always watching basically, so whether it's social media or in person, like, I try to always be nice, even if someone is, even if someone leaves a nasty comment on YouTube, even if someone steals a plate from my bench press bar or something like that, I try to always, because it's usually not malicious. I mean, sometimes on YouTube with the comments, sure, but if someone is leaving a steroids comment, I'm just feel bad for them because their standards are pretty low, and they maybe they've watched a few too many natty or not videos, and they have an idea of like what is naturally possible, and so I mostly just kind of sympathize with them and kind of feel bad for them.